Reporting from Notre Dame. Reporting live in Sun Life Stadium. Reporting from Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Reporting from New Orleans with the women's Final Four. Reporting from Super Bowl 46. And Chicago teams, well, they haven't been too kind to Boston this year, and last night didn't prove much different. White Sox Adam Dunn homered while Scott Carroll went 6 2/3 innings, giving up just one hit to former White Sox catcher A.J. Przinsky for his first win since May 27th. The Southsiders take game 1 4-0. According to Jack Swarbrick tonight, the athletic director, he tells us they don't know how many people were involved in this online hoax, but according to him, he says Manti Te'o knew nothing about it. And today we watched the response along with Notre Dame student Jeff Liptak.
This girl who I committed myself to died on September 12th. Now I get a phone call on December 6th saying that she's alive, and then I'm going to be put on national TV 2 days later, and they ask me about the same question. You know, what would you do?
And just kind of what's your reaction to seeing that?
Well, to seeing that, I think, you know, the answer he gave, it's certainly, I think it's one where he's maybe trying to cover himself.
Well, former quarterback Everett Golson is currently suspended from the university. Last year, fans were praising Golson for the win over Pitt. Now this year, they're talking about his recent interview with Sports Illustrated, where he claims cheating is why he's not here with his former teammates tonight. Starting quarterback Everett Golson is no longer enrolled at the university. News breaks a Saturday night in May that Golson was no longer enrolled at the school that he led to the national championship nearly 5 months earlier. And the following day, Golson releases a written statement saying he was suspended for the fall 2013 term due to poor academic judgment. It wasn't until 5 months after his suspension that Golson told Sports Illustrated what really happened.
Basically, I had poor judgment on the test.
White Sox starting pitcher Chris Sale snagged the final roster spot for the American League. And up on the north side, Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo secured a spot on the National League team. The All-Star game, that is set for Tuesday at Target Field in Minneapolis. And the Cubs, they were hoping to avoid the sweep yesterday in Cincinnati. The game, it was tied at 4 in the 9th when things, they would get a little testy. Well, someone in the Reds dugout says something to Anthony Rizzo. Both dugouts, take a look, would eventually clear out. Now, no punches were thrown, and both teams were warned. And the Cubs would get 2 runs in the top of the 12th and avoid the 5-game sweep. Final score, 6-4.
Tonight, Notre Dame is celebrating its Final Four win. ABC 57's Emily Pritchard was inside their locker room right after they beat Maryland. She continues our live team coverage from the Bridgestone Arena. Emily, this has to feel pretty good after they lost to UConn last year in the Final Four.
Oh, yes, no question about it. I think head coach Muffet McGraw said it best tonight. She said they are so happy to be going to the championship game, and they are on a mission. But tonight they did take a little bit of time to let this win sink in their 37-0 season so far. And take a look. I was there this evening as they came out of the arena after flying by Maryland 87-61. Now, McGraw was first out with a high five, of course, to some standing by, and then came out the Lucky 13, as they have nicknamed themselves, with a few jumps and some pretty big smiles, of course, celebrating that Final Four win. Now, a big part of walking out with that W tonight was senior Kayla McBride. She had 19 points at the half and then topped off the night with a final 28.
I credit my teammates for finding me the ball, but, you know, I was in a flow. In Final Four, as a senior, I was just trying to leave it on the floor. I was making open shots. I was feeling the crowd, just feeling the environment. It was definitely something I'll remember.
Wow, she got off to a great start offensively. I thought she was key to kind of calm everybody down. And then we were able to do the job on the boards.
And, of course, another big factor tonight was the rebounding. McGraw said this evening in the locker room that this was the best defensive game her team has played all year. And, of course, it couldn't have come at a better time. The Fighting Irish are headed to the national championship game on Tuesday. And join me in just a few hours on ABC 57 News at 5 a.m. We will have much more reaction from inside the Fighting Irish locker room. Reporting live from the Bridgestone Arena with the women's Final Four, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News. Notre Dame fans can actually thank Purdue tonight. That's right. Junior Amir Carlisle's dad is the director of sports performance here. And that means that that's what led Amir to choosing to come to Notre Dame. And tonight, they're meeting on the field for the very first time as a father and son rivalry. A stretch of highway is all that separates Notre Dame and Ross-Ade stadiums. 2 lanes, 1 dotted line, also linking a father and son on the gridiron.
I never would have dreamed that I'd be in this situation this weekend, with him being on the playing field and me on the other sideline.
Dwayne Carlisle spends his days on Purdue's turf and in the Boilermaker weight room, helping develop all 500 student athletes, including the football team. But before that, one of his first jobs as coach started nearly 21 years ago.
My earliest memory actually is when I was 3 years old, my dad used to have me doing different agility drills. I'm in front of people, so it goes way back to when I was barely walking.
And so Amir looked at it like, why is Dad having me doing this? But I had a master plan to help develop those motor skills that hopefully have benefited him in his athletic career.
And that plan seems to be paying off.
Amir Carlisle that made his Trojan debut at Arizona State.
Amir Carlisle started his college career at the University of Southern California. His freshman season, he recorded 19 rushes for 118 yards.
Carlisle into the end zone.
Growing up in California, you'd assume that season would have been a dream come true for the young athlete. But a new job for Dad changed all of that.
It's an empty feeling coming out of the stadium. Everybody else's family's there, and yours isn't. And he wanted to have that experience. It's such a short period of time in a kid's career. 4 years goes by like that.
So, sophomore year, Amir traded in the Cardinal and gold for a chance to run out of the Notre Dame tunnel.
With them coming out here and the opportunity presented for me to transfer here, just made it a decision that was very easy actually.
Amir didn't see playing time last season due to injury, but now the healthy number 3 is making strides in blue and gold. He's rushed over 100 yards and continuing this season. Amir tells us a lot of what he's learned on the field comes from Dad.
Just really perfecting your craft and taking pride in what you do each and every day you step into the building and step onto the field.
For Dwayne, his son has done some teaching of his own.
To see him do the things that he's doing in the face of adversity, that to me as a dad is the most gratifying thing I've learned from him.
Gold is the Carlisle family's safe color tonight as both teams share it, but bragging rights are still on the line between father and son.
I want us to win the game, but I want Amir to play well.
It's fun, to compete against my dad. On the field it's business, but off the field, he's my dad and I love him, and hopefully we'll get the win on Saturday.
And Irish fans, if you're hoping for another Carlisle to come to Notre Dame, well, Amir does have 2 younger brothers, but Dwayne told me one of them loves basketball, the other baseball. Reporting from Ross-Ade Stadium for the Notre Dame-Purdue matchup, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News. I do have a copy, though, of the 2014 Fighting Irish roster, the 4 in question. They are on it. That's Tavares Daniel, Kavari Russell, Kendall Moore, and Ishak Williams. They are all still members of the team. They just cannot practice or compete with the Fighting Irish until this investigation is complete. Head coach Brian Kelly told me today that the 4 will likely not be in team meetings, but they can eat with their teammates and even spend time with them at the athletic complex. And the head coach shared with us that when he found out about this investigation, he was shocked and disappointed.
I'm a parent, and this is an extended family for me. So it hurt.
It's been just 2 days since head coach Brian Kelly says he learned he'd have holes to fill on this field. The players in question were brought into the investigation yesterday. Kelly said he doesn't have a lot of facts on the investigation, but he and his players lining Notre Dame Stadium are now regrouping.
There are no shortcuts in what we do. You can't win taking shortcuts. So our attention to detail is what we talk about all the time.
While his guys cut routes, Kelly stressed Saturday the reason he came to coach here is Notre Dame's core values, and there's no shortcut there.
Along the way, I've lost a starting quarterback and some key players. But I came here because I wanted to be associated with a university that had those standards.
In Kelly's 5 years at the university, he's had to police an array of issues, including players' arrest and Everett Golson's dismissal for cheating. Today, he told me now is just not the time to look back at how everything was handled.
This isn't the time to have a debate on what my, leadership or lack thereof is. My focus is on my football team and getting this team ready.
As everyone waits for a decision from university officials, the work on the field goes on as the countdown to Rice looms.
I expect our group to be, affected by it, but they'll be stronger too.
And as for the practice that happened on this field behind me today, Coach Kelly called it a good practice. He says this is a true example of his statement and motto that we all have heard before, the next man in. He said other players are just going to have to step up. And when it comes to this investigation, he wants to remind everyone this is still an ongoing investigation and that no one has been found guilty of anything. Reporting live from Notre Dame Stadium, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.
I think the whole country's been waiting for this game.
I've tried my best to do you right, but baby, I can't try no more.
Undefeated against undefeated.
The lights are still blinking along Broadway, and women's basketball fans are out making known who they're rooting for tonight.
Go Irish!
This afternoon, the Nashville sky was clear, except for that storm brewing between UConn and Notre Dame fans.
Hatred.
You say it's a hatred?
Oh, yeah, we don't like them and they don't like us.
UConn Huskies! UConn Huskies!
This group of Big Blue has had one big weekend.
I feel like we're the basketball capital of America right now.
They're sporting a statement after watching their men's team win a national championship in Dallas just hours ago.
We had to drive through Nashville on our way back home, so we said, well, we'll just stop and see the women tonight.
As they roam the streets looking for tickets, the Fighting Irish have their sights set on staying perfect this season.
It gives you goosebumps, I think, to know that they're undefeated. We saw them all the games that they played, home games, and it's unbelievable they can do it.
I'll be holding up some honky-tonk.
As the blocks of Broadway get a little more attention than your average Tuesday afternoon.
This is great. I mean, this place rocks. And on and on and on,
The Irish are moving onward tonight to what they've been waiting for all season.
It's just so exciting. It's just like, pinch me. I can't believe we're here.
Well, you can hear it for yourself. There is a lot of excitement here this evening, and coming up within the next hour, we will show you more live from the press conference here, and even hear what one Fighting Irish fan from South Bend has to say about what the key to tonight's game is. Reporting live from Nashville with the women's Final Four, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.